what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen is not made out of what was visible. By faith Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. By faith he was commended as a righteous man when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith he still speaks, even though he's dead. By faith Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith Noah,
when warned about the things that were not told, with Holy Spirit, I built an ark to save my family. By my faith, I condemn the world to be the heir of righteousness that comes by faith.
By faith Abraham,
when called to go to a place that I would later receive as my inheritance, I obeyed and went, even though I didn't know where I was going. By faith I made my home in the promised land. I lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with me of the same promise.
For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder was God. By faith Abraham, even though he was past age, and Sarah,
Noah's parents, God used me and enabled Abraham to become a father, because he had been faithful to make his promise. If you listen to one man, you know who's going to say. He became descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and countless as the sands of the sea.
all these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance. And they admitted that they were aliens and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country that they had left, they would have had the opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac,
me as a sacrifice. He has received the promises. Who caused him to sacrifice his one and only son, even though God has said to him, "It's through me that your offspring will be reckoned."
Abraham reasoned that God would raise the dead, and figuratively speaking, he did receive Isaac back from death. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph,
When mine was near, I spoke of the exodus of the Israelites and gave instructions about my bones.
by faith,
What? Woo! Was I not beaten? Was I not beaten by my brothers and soul? Was I not? Was I tempted by the adulteress to lay with her but denied her?
by faith, Moses,
My parents hid me for 3 months after they saw that I was no ordinary child. And they were not afraid of his command.
by faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a short time. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward.
I left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. And I persevered because I thought things were invisible. And by faith I kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood. So as the destroyer of the firstborn, do not touch the firstborn of Israel.
By faith, the people passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, but when the Egyptians tried to do so, they were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell, after the people had marched around them for 7 days. By faith, the prostitute Rahab,
Since I loved his God, I was not killed until it was taken.
and what more shall I say? I have not time to tell about
Gideon,
Aaron,
David.
David,
the prophets. administered justice and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle and routed foreign enemies. Women received back their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured and refused to be released, so that they might gain a better resurrection. Some faced jeers and flogging, while still others were chained and put in prison. They were stoned, they were sawed in two, they were put to death by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, and in caves and in holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised. God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect.
Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles, and run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and he was seated at the right hand of the Father. Even in all of your struggles against temptation, you have not resisted to the point of shedding your blood.